Bonsoir tout le monde, hello everyone, my name is Kusela Bumrija. Welcome to this new episode of Franglish, presented by Eddie Creator. Today we are going to learn introduction in French, how to introduce yourself in French. The title of today's lesson is Qui suis-je? Who am I? Before we start, subscribe to our YouTube channel to watch more videos related to education, ESL, and French language. I have divided this lesson into 5 main titles. The first one is greeting, how to greet someone in French. The second one is how to say your name, then your age, your nationality, and the last topic is how to close the conversation by saying goodbye, nice to meet you, I see you tomorrow, I see you later, and so stay with us. Let's begin. The first part in this video is greeting, how to greet in French language. But before we do this part, we need to learn something very important in French language. So in French language, we need to make a difference between formal and informal, the vous and the tu. So tu is used for informal and singular also, and vous is used for formal and plural. So when someone tells you how are you using formal language, he will use the vous, and in this case the vous doesn't mean you plural, but it means you formal. A quick explanation to that, let's use these two sentences for one example, okay? So in French, how do you say how are you doing? You can say comment vas-tu, or you can say comment allez-vous. Comment vas-tu is singular or informal. Comment allez-vous is plural or formal. So when we use tu, we refer either to one person or to people we know, like friends, brother, sister. But comment allez-vous, either we use it to a group of people or we use it for formal, when you talk to your boss, when you talk to people you don't know. Let's begin now with the first part, which is greeting. So we have different ways to greet in French, like English. So we can say, we start first by saying hello, and then we move to how to say how are you doing, how to say hello. Okay, so in French there are different ways to say hello, and we will write them now and say the meaning in English. The first one is bonjour. Bonjour basically means hello, but it can also mean good morning. Then we have bonsoir, which means good afternoon or good evening. And we have the last one is salut. That one is basically used with your friends or relatives, which means hi. The second part of this first part is how to say how are you, okay, or how are you doing. So we have different ways to say that and different ways to answer that also, okay. So we have the first way is the informal one. We will say comment vas-tu, okay. Then we have the formal one is comment allez-vous. And there are also different expressions that French people use, like comment ça va, that's the most used one basically in French language now. And also there are different ways to answer these questions. You can answer by saying ça va. You can say ça va bien if you feel good. You can say ça va mal if you feel bad. And also you can say comme ci comme ça if you feel in between, like 50-50. And we have an easiest way also to ask how are you in French by just writing or saying ça va. The answer for that, you can say ça va. So this one is the easiest one because you can use the same words for question and the same words for the answer, okay? The only difference in this, to make the difference between them, which one is the question, which one is the answer, it's the sound. It's all based on the sound production or the volume of saying the sentence. So the question is ça va? The answer is ça va. So the question is the same as the answer, okay? But here the difference is just in speaking, which means in sound production or the volume of reading the sentences. So when you read the sentence or when you read the question, you make sure you put high volume. When you read the answer, you make sure you read the low volume. That will make it sound like an answer. Let's practice now by reading this conversation. Bonjour. Bonjour. Comment ça va? Ça va bien. Now, how do you ask back? What about you? When someone tells you, I am doing fine, or you ask someone, you tell him how you doing, and he tells you, I am fine, how does he reply back? How does he say, what about you? How you doing? Okay? So we have a short expression that we need to remember that we can use to ask back questions. It's et toi or et vous. So we can use et toi for informal or et vous for formal. Let's practice both of them. Bonjour. Bonjour. Comment allez-vous? Ça va bien. Et vous? Ça va très bien. Bonjour. Bonjour. Comment ça va? Ça va bien. Et toi? Ça va très bien. Exercice. Now pause the video, find the partner, and write a short conversation saying to your partner, good morning, good afternoon, or hello, and he replies back. Then you ask, how is he doing? And he will respond and ask you back using the expression et toi. Then you answer. You have 5 minutes to do this. We go to the second part now, which is how do you ask what's your name? What is your name? Okay, so in French also there are two different ways to ask that. We have formal and informal. Okay, so the informal one is comment t'appelles-tu? And the formal one is comment vous appelez-vous? There is also another expression that everybody uses now. It's comment tu t'appelles? What's your name? To answer this question, it's very easy. You just answer by saying je m'appelle and you put your name. Je m'appelle Michael Jackson. Or you can just say je m'appelle Michael. And also you can ask back by saying et toi or et vous. Let's practice both informal and formal. Comment t'appelles-tu? Je m'appelle Michael Jordan. Et toi? Je m'appelle David Beckham. Comment vous appelez-vous? Je m'appelle Michael Jordan. Et vous? Je m'appelle David Beckham. Now let's go to exercice. Pause the video again with the same partner. Ask him what's his name. He will respond. Then he will reply back by saying and you. Then you reply by saying what's your name. You have 5 minutes to do that. Then we will start presenting. We go now to the third part, which is how to ask someone how old are you. So in French, to ask how old are you, you can say quel âge as-tu? Informal, or quel âge avez-vous? Which means how old are you? Okay? So to answer this question, we have a form that we need to follow. We need to say j'ai. J'ai in French is I have. It's not I am. So in French language, it's not like English. You will not say I am 20 years old, but you say I have 20 years old. So this is how it works in French. It's not like English. Remember that. So you do not use to be, but you use to have. Instead of saying je suis 20 ans, you have to say j'ai 20 ans. And an is very important to add because an means years old. So you say 20 years old. It's better to say in French j'ai 20 ans than just saying j'ai 20. Okay? The S in an is always silent. You never pronounce the S at the end. I will just go quickly through the numbers from 1 to 20. since we are teaching K-12, so the ages that we're going to have in our classes are all between 5 years old all the way to 20 years old. So I will just go quickly from 1 to 20, so students will be able to respond to this question by their age. I will do the numbers first, then I do the age. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Now I do the age. J'ai 1 an, j'ai 2 ans, j'ai 3 ans, j'ai 4 ans, j'ai 5 ans, j'ai 6 ans, j'ai 7 ans, j'ai 8 ans, j'ai 9 ans, j'ai 10 ans, j'ai 11 ans, j'ai 12 ans, j'ai 13 ans, j'ai 14 ans, j'ai 15 ans, j'ai 16 ans, j'ai 17 ans, j'ai 18 ans, j'ai 19 ans, and the last one is j'ai 20 ans. Make sure you always use j'ai, not je suis, plus the number, then en, with a silent S. And also, if you want to ask back, how old are you or what about you, you just use et toi or et vous. Let's practice both of them. Quel âge as-tu? J'ai 17 ans et toi? J'ai 15 ans. Quel âge avez-vous? J'ai 20 ans et vous? J'ai 19 ans. There is also a good expression that I really want to talk about. I always tell my students to use it to avoid the repetition, and make sure also to use this expression only with age or nationality. Try to don't use it when someone asks you how are you doing, for example. This expression is me too. In French you say is moi aussi. In this case, if you ask, for example, someone how old are you, and he tells you that he is 17, and he asks you back et toi, and you are also 17, to avoid repeating j'ai 17 ans, you can just say moi aussi, which means me too. But be careful, guys, try to do not use this expression a lot. You can use it probably like I told you with asking age and nationality, for example, but try to avoid using it when you say, for example, how are you doing? It's better when you ask someone how you doing, then he says I am fine, and you reply I am fine, instead of saying me too. Let's practice. Quel âge as-tu? J'ai 18 ans. Et toi? Moi aussi. Let's go to the next activity now. Pause the video. You have 5 minutes to ask your partner how old is he, and you will perform it to the class. Let's go to the fourth part now, is how to ask where are you from. Where are you from in French is quelle est ta nationalité for informal, and quelle est votre nationalité for formal. To answer this question, it's easy because it sounds exactly like English, so you use the expression I am, then the nationality. I am American, I am Mexican. So you say je suis américain, je suis mexicain. There is one important thing that I need to talk about in this part, is that in French language every noun and adjective has a masculine form and the feminine form, including adjectives of nationality. So if you are masculine, you say je suis américain. But if you are feminine, you need to add an I to américain. So you say je suis américaine. So we have different exceptions for adjectives transformation from masculine to feminine. These are some tips if you want to look at them and check them out. But we will do them in the next videos. I have selected just some nationalities here. Then I wrote the masculine and the feminine form for you guys, so we can use them today in practice. Let's practice now by using the expressions et toi to ask back the question, and also using expression moi aussi if you have the same nationality as your partner. Quelle est ta nationalité? Je suis américain. Et toi? Je suis française. Quelle est votre nationalité? Je suis américain. Et vous? Je suis française. Quelle est ta nationalité? Je suis français. Et toi? Moi aussi. Now you pause the video and you ask your partner what is his nationality and use expressions et toi and moi aussi if necessary. You have 5 minutes, then we start performing. We go to the last part now, is how to say nice to meet you, I see you later, goodbye, and so on. In French also we have different ways to say nice to meet you or glad to meet you. So we have the main expression, or the most used expression, is enchanté. If you are masculine, you use enchanté masculin. If you are feminine, you use enchanté féminin avec un E, with an I at the end. You can also use expressions such as ravi or je suis ravi, or you can also say un plaisir de vous rencontrer, un plaisir de te rencontrer. Will be more beautiful if you use enchanté with the name of the person. For example, you say enchanté Jack, enchanté François, enchanté Emma. To say goodbye now, you can just say au revoir, and you can add some expressions like I see you tomorrow, I see you next week, I see you later. So you can say au revoir, à demain, au revoir, à la semaine prochaine, au revoir, à la prochaine. Let's practice now. Enchanté François, enchanté Emma, au revoir, à demain, au revoir, à la prochaine. Let's go to the last activity now. It's going to be a speaking activity to review everything that we have seen in this video. Pause the video. You have 10 minutes to write a conversation with your partner, starting from greeting, then asking for the name, age, nationality, and closing the conversation by saying nice to meet you and goodbye. Use 5 minutes to write the conversation and use 5 minutes to practice with your partner before performing. Homework now. Read your teacher's introduction and write a similar one to introduce yourself and tell us who you are. That's it for today. J'espère que vous avez aimé la vidéo. Abonnez-vous à ma chaîne. Don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel to watch more videos. Thank you everyone. Good luck. Au revoir. À la prochaine.